Aliens are real. You heard me right. They exist, and they all have superpowers. You might now wonder exactly how many aliens are there? Well, at least 10. According to Cartoon Network's Ben 10. Ben 10 was one of my favorite cartoons to watch growing up. A young boy on a road trip discovers an alien device that allows him to morph into unique aliens from across the galaxy. It's no wonder Ben 10 was so popular. The concept was cool, the visuals were unique, and it was easy to put yourself in Ben's shoes. I still consider the original run of Ben 10 as one of my favorite shows of all time. Naturally, people wanted more of Ben 10. Ben 10 was also released during the era of Flash games. If you remember, every show on the Cartoon Network had several Flash games you could play for free on CartoonNetwork.com. Nearly all of my free time was spent browsing that site and playing the various games associated with my favorite TV shows. Most Flash games were pretty simple, with many being pretty boring, but enough to entertain a kid. However, there was one Ben 10 Flash game that always stuck with me. It lingered in the back of my mind, even years after Flash was shut down. That game was Ben 10 Battle Ready, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Flash games and one of the best Ben 10 games ever released. Because Flash no longer exists, playing these older Flash games isn't as easy as going to CartoonNetwork.com and pressing play. In order to play Ben 10 Battle Ready, I am using an archive of many old Flash games. To start, Ben 10 Battle Ready features top-down visuals with beat-em-up gameplay. The controls are relatively simple. Use the arrow keys to move, press space to attack, and hold X to transform into any of Ben's original 10 aliens. In the game, there's a hub area which gives you access to 10 alien-specific levels. In these levels, you are limited to using only one of Ben's aliens. However, in the hub, you could freely transform into any of the aliens whenever you wished. Although the hub area was small, this freedom to transform and move wherever you wanted, as whichever alien you wanted, made the game extremely appealing to me. There were several other Ben 10 Flash games at the time, but most only allowed you to play as one alien, and if you could transform into the other aliens, it was only in a limited capacity, or within certain levels. I think the art design of the game is also quite nice, especially for the time. The animations are extremely limited, but everything is very faithful to their appearances in the show. Each alien has a unique attack, movement speed, and health. They vary in how unique their abilities are. Each alien does have a different attack, and some even have unique abilities, such as Ghost Freak, who can phase through walls. There is also a very basic story associated with the game. It's simple enough and gives context to the game, but doesn't offer anything narratively interesting or compelling. It can be summarized in one sentence. Benison Tenjamin is sent to an abandoned warehouse to master his aliens. However, he is found by Vilgax, who sends aliens after him to collect the Omnitrix. To beat the game, you have to find and complete the 10 alien-specific levels. To beat the levels, you have to find the 10 Sumo Slammer cards and then find the exit. Wild Mutt is the first of Ben's aliens, and he has a rolling attack. In his level, there are lots of destructible barrels which can be easily destroyed by holding the attack button and rolling into them. However, it can be easy to die to ranged enemies, if you aren't avoiding their bullets. Forearms has a lot of health and deals a lot of damage. His level is pretty basic and consists of you defeating most enemies with one punch. Heat Blast is able to shoot fireballs out of his hands, once again a pretty normal level where you utilize your ranged abilities. Accelerate is far faster than the rest of the aliens. His attack is also quite fast. His level has a lot of open straights, which makes it very satisfying to run through. Ghost Freak is able to fly and also has the ability to phase through certain walls. This is necessary to complete his level, which features areas completely blocked by walls. Ripjaw has legs while in the hub, but morphs into his swimming form during his level. Other than looking different, this doesn't do much to mix up gameplay. Stinkfly can fly and is able to shoot projectiles. His level is one of the larger ones and had lots of open gaps that you had to fly over. Gray Matter is basically just small. He doesn't do anything other than look tiny. I do like his level, however, as it plays with the proportions. In the hub he appears tiny, but in his unique level he appears normally sized, with everything else around him appearing large. Instead of destroying barrels, you have to destroy pieces of paper, and the small robot enemies also appear much larger next to Gray Matter. Diamond Head has a ranged attack where he shoots out diamonds. His level is pretty simple. Upgrade is able to shoot a green laser from his hands. His level is by far the most disappointing to me. While most of the other aliens have at least some aspect of their powers in the show translated to the game, Upgrade just shoots a laser. Upgrade was one of my favorite aliens in the show due to his unique powers being able to upgrade all types of technology. I think they missed an opportunity where you could have been able to take over the enemy robots and play as them using his abilities. Overall, these alien-specific levels are fairly good. Most do a good job providing situations that allow for implementation of the unique abilities of each alien. However, some of the levels, especially upgrades, Forearms, Diamond Head, and Heat Blast, don't do enough to diversify the experience. This, in my opinion, has to do with the fact that although their attacks are different, enemy types and behavior aren't varied enough to make the aliens' different attacks useful in different types of situations. After beating the 10 levels, a crack in the wall in the hub breaks, which reveals a boss fight. Here you have to fight one of Vilgax's giant robots. In this level, you are actually able to freely change into any alien you want for the fight. To be honest, this fight was actually pretty difficult, at least compared to the rest of the game. It probably took me about 4 tries to beat, and was pretty much the only time I died in the game. This boss battle is pretty enjoyable, and in my opinion, the best part of the game. This is because in order to beat the boss, you actually need to change aliens mid-fight. After some trial and error, I found the best strategy was to use one of the ranged aliens to deal damage at first. Then, once the boss starts its spinning attack, which is very fast, you either need to transform into Accelerate and run away, or turn into one of the flying aliens and fly over the gap to get away and get yourself in a position to attack again once the boss finishes their spinning attack. What adds to the difficulty of the fight is lots of other enemies trying to attack you while you face the boss. The spinning attack of the boss is also particularly deadly, as if you aren't positioned correctly, you can get stun locked and have your health melted away. After defeating the boss, the game ends and you get this short cutscene. And that's the Ben 10 Battle Ready experience. It's pretty short and would probably only take you less than 2 hours to beat. It's easy to see why I liked it so much as a kid. The freedom of the hub area and the ability to transform into different aliens, all with somewhat unique powers, gave me the Ben 10 experience I craved from watching the show. The funny thing is, back when I played this as a kid, I was never able to complete any of the levels. It was just too hard for me to find all the cards. And honestly, there's probably no way I would have ever defeated the boss. But I found a lot of enjoyment just wandering through the hub, fighting the robots as the different aliens. What I really like about Ben 10 Battle Ready is their game design regarding the aliens and how that translated perfectly into what made the show enjoyable as well. And if a Ben 10 game were to be made in the future, there's a lot to learn from Ben 10 Battle Ready. The idea of using different aliens depending on the situation is what makes the game so fun. But I think a crucial part of what makes it satisfying is that freedom to choose. Some situations can be overcome with multiple different aliens, but other situations are so unique that there's only one alien that can take it on. I think if a Ben 10 game were to be made, it's crucial that each alien is unique in their gameplay mechanics and that you have the freedom to decide which alien would best fit in the situation. Ben 10 Battle Ready was definitely trying to implement this idea. They succeeded in some aspects, particularly the boss fight. However, there were many aliens that were not unique enough in their abilities and not enough situations where the player had to make the choice of which alien to choose. To finish off, Ben 10 Battle Ready was really fun for me as it captured what I liked about the show. What makes the idea of Ben 10 so compelling is that each alien is unique, and while their benefits weren't always obvious to Ben at first, they all had their moment to shine in situations they were made for. Ben 10 taught me that no matter who you are, there's a purpose out there for you. It taught me the value of creative thinking and how it takes all kinds to surpass obstacles in life. Maybe I can't transform into different aliens, but I can utilize different skills and abilities I've learned throughout my own life to surpass any obstacle I may face.